Hello friends, my name is Lalit Soni and I welcome you all in this live session by Drishti IAS. As usual, we will be discussing Indian Express of the day. So, we will first take up the practice question which was given to you in the last session, and then we will start with the articles which are important for our today's newspaper. Let us say INS Infal Commission. So, basically this INS Infal, warship destroyer has been commissioned by Indian Navy. Okay. So, in this regard we will talk about that, how it is important. Other than that also we will see how the naval security, or you can say the maritime security in this region has been an issue recently, and how Indian Navy is tackling that. Okay. Then India Russia pact on Kudankulam. So, yesterday we have discussed about this Kudankulam nuclear power plant. So, now India Russia has signed another pact related to that, how the future endeavors will be there, how future units will be operationalized in this particular nuclear power plant. We will talk about that. Other than that, we will also talk like whatever things which has been talked in this particular session, or you can say summit, where Mr. Jaishankar has attended it, and whatever they have talked about. Okay. Then IMD gets a new logo. So, IMD will be celebrating its 150th anniversary soon. So, that is why they have given this new logo to IMD. So, we will be talking about that, and then some world affairs, then practice question. Okay. So, from the today's front page here, you can say there are some three news we will cover. Gaza heats up, Red Sea, Modi and Mohammed bin Salman speaks. Okay. So, we will talk about whatever arguments or whatever statements they have given on this particular phone call. Okay. So, that is one thing, and then police says low intensity blast near Israel embassy. So, in the nearby area, or you can say backside of the Israel embassy, there was a small intensity blast. Okay. So, that is not important, but we will have a look at it, and then this particular article, or you can say this particular piece of news here, Rajnath says India will hunt down attackers even from the depth of the seas, action taken. So, basically they are talking about the Arabian Sea, or the issues which are being happening in this area because of the extended issues in the Red Sea by the Houthi rebels. So, we will talk about that, and Rajnath Singh has said this particular statement in a ceremony wherein INS Infal has been commissioned. Okay. So, we will talk about INS Infal as well. Okay. So, let us start with the first article here, or before that we will take up the practice question which was given to you in the last session. Which region geographically houses the Bhasan Char island? Yesterday we have talked about the issues related to Rohingyas. Okay. So, when Rohingya has migrated from the Myanmar to Bangladesh, and Bangladesh government has made some provision for them to live in their territory, and this particular island Bhasan Char has been actually allocated that, so that they can live over there. Okay. So, we are talking about the location of Bhasan Char here. Options are A, South China Sea, B, Bay of Bengal, C, Arabian Sea, and D, Andaman Sea. So, basically this is an obvious answer, Bay of Bengal, because this particular area is related to your Bangladesh. Hold on a second. Okay. So, let us see the map here. As I told you that this is the Rakhine state of Myanmar. Here there is this Rohingya issue which has erupted earlier in 2017, and after that these people or this community has been on the move, and they are seeking refuge here and there. So, they have made their settlements in this Cox Bazar and the Chittagong area, and after that Bangladesh government has given a island for them, that is Bhasan Char here. Okay. Here you can see this island here is Bhasan Char in Bay of Bengal. Okay. And the issue was that these particular communities now migrating towards the Indonesia and Malaysia. Okay. Now, moving further, we will see the first article, that is turmoil in the West Asia over Israel, Hamas war, Houthi attacks. Okay. So, all these things are connected. So, that is why we will discuss all of them here only. Okay. First thing is that you know that there is this Israel Hamas issue which has been going on for a long time now. Okay. Because of which this Houthi rebels from Yemen has entered the situation, and they are saying that they are supporting Hamas, okay, by doing some chaos in Red Sea. Okay, so nation in this particular area are quite concerned about it. That is one thing. Then there is this Houthi attacks. As I told you, in this particular way, they are what they are doing is they are attacking the shipments in this particular area. Okay, so recently there was a talk between PM Modi and Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi Arabia. He is the crown prince over there. So they have talked about and they have agreed to work together for the peace, security, stability in the West Asia region. These are the statements which are again and again in the news, because mostly leaders talk on that lines. Okay, so that is one thing. And then here we can see directly, we can take it from here. Okay, so they agreed to work together for peace, security and stability in the West Asian region. Other than that, the future of the strategic partnership between India and Saudi Arabia, they have talked. Saudi Arabia and India have this friendly relations. Okay, so they are talking about that future of strategic partnership. Saudi Arabia is looking for diversification. It was mostly dependent on their oil exports, but now they are trying to diversify their economy. Okay, now we have exchanged view on the West Asia situation and shared concern regarding the terrorism. Here when they are talking about terrorism, they are specifically right now they are talking about Hamas. Other than that, they are talking about the terrorism as a whole in this particular area. Okay, violence and the loss of civilian lives. Okay, so they are talking about the terrorism which has happened on the October 7th by the Hamas, an attack on the Israel, and then violence and the loss of civilians in this particular area related to this war, or the efforts which has been made by Israel when we are talking about removing Hamas from that particular area of Gaza Strip. Okay, now agreed to work together for peace, security and stability. Prime Minister reiterates India's long-standing and the principled position on Israel-Palestine issue, that our principal position on Israel-Palestine issue is two-state solution. That one thing is we will not support any kind of terrorism which has been done by Hamas. That is one thing. Second thing is we are in favor of some kind of ceasefire over there, cessation of violence you can say, and the humanitarian aid in that particular area. But when we are coming to talk about the Israel and Palestine issue, the long-standing issue, our stand is that Palestine should be given their right of self-determination and they should be made a separate nation and some territory should be given to that. That is basically two-state solution. Okay, so that is our position on the Israel-Palestine issue, and called for a continued humanitarian aid for the affected population. Okay, that is actually the UNSC resolution which has been passed a few days back, that also says the same thing, continued humanitarian aid for the affected population over there. Okay, now two leaders agreed for the peace, security and stability in the region, maintaining maritime security and the freedom of navigation. When we are talking about maritime security and the freedom of navigation, then it comes the issue of this rebels, Red Sea and Houthi rebels. Okay, so in past few weeks we have seen few attacks on the shipments. Recently there is a vessel MV Camp Pluto. Okay, this vessel, and other than that there is another vessel, that is MV Sai Baba. So there has been some attack on these vessels and there were few crew members which are from India. Okay, so considering that, we are saying that this particular attack happened 270 nautical mile from the Porbandar. Okay, so it is somewhere you can say 200 is our exclusive economic zone, and then it's somewhere nearby that particular zone. It happened in the Porbandar, off coast of the Porbandar. So that is why India is taking some steps in this direction. Indian Navy and the Coast Guard deployed a number of assets to provide assistance to the ship. There is a Gabon flagged commercial crude oil tanker with 25 Indian crew members. As I told you, this particular shipments which has Indian members, they have been targeted, and that is why India is taking action in that area. 4 destroyers has been deployed in this region. Okay, when we are talking about destroyers, one of them recently has been commissioned, that is INS Infal. We will talk about that. Then all these issues because of the Iran backed Houthi militants in Yemen. So basically, as I told you, these Houthi rebels are placed in Yemen, but they are supported by Iran. Okay, so now Iran is also saying some or giving some kind of threats related to the Mediterranean Sea and Strait of Gibraltar. They are saying that we will block that area. Okay, No specific has been given like how they are planning to do that. They have not said that, but it was a threat which has been given by the Iran. Okay. Now, the Houthi militants who control the vast amount of territory in Yemen after years of wars have been using drones and missiles to target international vessels sailing through the Red Sea, calling it a response to the Israel's assault on the Gaza Strip. We have discussed that, and targeting a route that allows east-west trade and specifically special or important for the oil trade. Okay. So, we have discussed all these things in the past as well, but since they are repetitive in the newspaper, so we have taken it again. Now, second thing is India will hunt down attackers even from the depth of the sea. These attacks which I have talked about this on the let us say that MV Camp Pluto and MV Sai Baba. These are the vessels which had Indian crew members. So, there was this news that there was a drone attack. Then we have conducted an investigation, and it was indeed a drone attack, and now our defense minister is saying that we will find out the culprits and take an action accordingly. Okay. Days after 2 merchant ships with Indian crew members were under drone attack, India will hunt down the perpetrator from even the depths of the sea and take strict action against them. Okay. So, now they have commissioned the statement has been made in the commissioning ceremony of the stealth guided missile destroyer, that is INS Infal in Mumbai. Okay. So, we will talk about that in the further slides, but right now it is this is where it happened. India plays a role of net security provider in the entire Indian Ocean region. This thing is important. This you can use in your answer writing related to maritime security or international relation or anything related to Indian neighborhood. Okay. We are assuming a role of net security provider in this area. Okay. Earlier I have discussed that there are many small nations in the Indian Ocean region which are not capable or militarily capable to safeguard their own interest. In that regard, India is doing this. Okay. India is playing a key role to provide a net security in this particular region. Okay. Other than that, we are the first responder in the region. Okay. When we are talking about anything happening in the Arabian Sea, we are a big nation which can respond to the situation at the first instance. Keep the sea lanes secure. Okay. This particular thing is to keep the sea lanes free and open. Okay. Now, deployment of the guided missile destroyers INS Marmagaon, INS Kochi and INS Kolkata. Okay. These 3 destroyers has been deployed in this particular area to maintain a deterrent presence, so that such events or such attacks can be avoided. Okay. Underlying the need of the continuously develop the Navy's capabilities with the Himalayas in the north and the hostile behavior of Pakistan in the west. So, basically we know that in the northern part of our territory we have Himalayas. Okay. So, there is the blockage of trade route from that side. Then when we are talking about the trade route relating land route related to Pakistan, which is also not possible because Pakistan is a hostile neighbor for us. Okay. So, that is a problem. That is why if we are talking about in the trade in the terms of trade, we can say that India is an island nation in the terms of trade, because most of our trade is done through the sea route. Okay. So, no doubt we have we are not just island nation, but in terms of trade we do not have other ways to go for the trade. Mostly all our trades are through the sea route. Okay. So, that is why having a naval capability is important to secure our interest in the area. Other than that, to secure free and open channels of communication and the navigation in this area. Okay. So, that is about this article, and now let us see the importance of INS Infal. Okay. So, INS Infal is the project it has been developed under project 15B. Okay. So, there were different projects of you can say manufacturing these vessels like this. Okay. So, there was this initial project 15. Okay. So, in that particular project 15, a Delhi class destroyer has been made. Okay. After that, there was a project 15A, in which Kolkata class destroyer has been made. Okay. So, when we are talking about this Delhi class, Kolkata class, these are nothing but the degree of defense these vessels has, the degree of equipments these vessels has. Okay. And now this IMF Infal has been made under this project 15B, and it is a Vishakhapatnam class. Okay. Because when we are talking about this different classes, whenever there is a project, there are 3 to 4 different destroyers has been made. and all these destroyers have some specific specifications. Okay, so because of that they have something in common, that is why they are considered as Delhi class, Kolkata class, Visakhapatnam class. Okay, so this particular INS Imphal has a you can say their specifications are more relevant with the Visakhapatnam class. Okay, so now part of project 15B, so they can ask you in the prelims that if this is part of project B or project A, project 15. Okay, so this is part of project 15B. Okay, an extension of the successful Kolkata class. Okay, extension of Kolkata class means after Kolkata class we have Visakhapatnam class, that is under 15B. Okay, they are made, these guided missile destroyers are made, named after the major cities in India: INS Visakhapatnam, INS Marmagaon, INS Imphal and INS Surat. These are the 4 class of destroyers which has been made under this particular project. Okay, INS Imphal's commissioning highlights India's growing maritime powers and emphasize self-reliance in the defense capabilities. Okay, so when we are talking about this particular maritime security sector, we have seen that what are the threats India is facing right now in this particular context. Okay, so that is why it becomes important for us when we are talking about, let's say, Indo-Pacific region as well. China is trying to make some aggressive moves in Indo-Pacific region as well, and that is why it is important for us to occupy a maritime security, maritime capability. Okay, so there is this principle, that is jalameva yasya balameva tasya. That is that means that whoever controls the water will have the power, or whoever control the waters will be powerful. Okay, so this particular thing you can specifically mention in your answer writing or even in your essay, because this will fetch you definitely one more extra mark. Okay, so after that INS Imphal is a shining example of Atmanirbhar Bharat, because most of the equipment in this particular destroyer has been made by the, let's say, BHEL, BEL and Larsen and Turbo. So that is why it is an example of indigenous capacity building. Okay, now the destroyer strengthens the India's presence in the Indo-Pacific region, vital for the security of trade routes and maritime security as well as the national interests. Okay, so that is a general idea. Then it boasts the enhanced stealth capabilities. Stealth capabilities here means that it cannot be detected. There are some technology so that this can be made kept outside the radar of different let's say countries which are placing some kind of radar in the ocean. So it can be it can actually divert or may not be detected under that radar. Okay, so that is what stealth capability is. Okay, then sophisticated weaponry and the advanced sensor system which is present in this particular destroyer class. Here you can say it is equipped with the surface to surface and surface to air missiles. Okay, anti submarine warfare including the rocket and torpedo launchers. Okay, multiple or multi-role helicopters can be operate from this particular destroyer as well. Okay, then we have radars, sonar, electronic warfare system, etc., which has been included in this particular destroyer. Other than that, missiles like BrahMos and Barak 8 has been included in this particular destroyer. Okay, so that is why it is if we talk about it, it is the most advanced destroyer as of now. Okay, now represent a significant leap in India's naval capability through indigenous design and cutting edge technology. As I told you, most of the equipments, like you can say BrahMos missile on the ship has been placed. Other than that, torpedo tube launcher has been made by the L&T, and then rapid gun mount which has been installed, that has been made by the BHEL, and then medium range missile launchers etc. are there on, which has been made by the BEL. Okay, so all these things are manufactured in India. Okay, so that is an example of Atmanirbhar Bharat in the defense sector. Enhances India's capacity in modern naval warfare, then strengthening the defense posture and national security in an evolving geopolitical and you can say maritime landscape. Okay, so we have talked about this INS Imphal. Let's see like what is the, why we have named it as Imphal, because we are celebrating the contribution of a particular region, let's say Manipur, in our development or in India's journey or history. Okay, so INS Imphal will have an unique distinction of being largest and the most advanced destroyer to be named after a city from the northeast. Okay, so this is the largest and the most advanced destroyer as of now, as I told you this. Okay, this is a befitting tribute to Manipur's sacrifice and contribution in India's freedom struggle, be it Anglo-Manipur War of 1891. So now these facts will be important for you, that is Anglo-Manipur War of 1981. Then Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose hoisting INA flag for the first time in this area on April 14, 1944. So that is the second fact which is important for you at Moirang. Okay, and or the pitch for the Battle of Imphal between Britishers and the Imperial Japanese power. Okay, when we are talking about this particular battle, both sides has Indian. Okay, some were fighting from the British India side, some were fighting with the Japanese forces. Okay, with Indians on the both sides, that turned the tide of Burma campaign and shaped the outcome of the Second World War. Okay, and the New World Order ultimately. So these are the factors you can, or facts you can remember for your prelims examination: Anglo-Manipur War, and then there is this hoisting of the flag, INA flag for the first time in this area, and the Battle of Imphal. Okay. The commissioning of the Imphal thus underscored the salient contribution of the city of Imphal, the state of Manipur, and the larger northeastern region to the national security, sovereignty, and the prosperity. Okay, so this particular this slide is important. There are three important facts which can be important for your exam. Okay, this is the picture of INS Infal. Okay, so now moving further. So there was before going ahead, I would like to tell you few things, that I have seen this comment that someone was asking, is it okay that someone is following this newspaper analysis, and would that suffice for the current affairs? So the simple answer is no, because the thing is, this is a newspaper analysis. Okay, so from the newspaper's end, I would assure you that this is fine, you can rely on that. Other than that, for the other things like PIB, PRS, etc., for that you can use our summary which has been given, or the current affair magazine by Drishti IAS. Okay, that will give you the idea of the news other than what has been covered in the newspaper, and then they are also providing the static part of it. Okay, whenever we are talking about, let's say this is India-Russia relations. Okay, so when we are talking about India-Russia relations, I would be telling you the dynamics of it, or the present or contemporary dynamics of it, but you have to have an idea about its background. Okay, because that background cannot be discussed in the small amount of time, let's say 40 minutes or 45 minutes, because it is a journey of 50-60 years. Okay, let's say when we are talking about India-Russia partnerships, you have to have an idea about that, how after independence or even before independence, what are the relations of India and Russia. Okay, after that, how we have these relations with the USSR. Okay, what was the nature of inclination we had in the NAM movement period of time. So all these things are the background of these relations, how these relations are being ornamented. So that is why I would say that this is from the newspaper part, this is perfect, because let's say today's newspaper has 30 pages in Indian Express. These 30 pages are, not all of the news article are important from this. So that is why our job here is to select the articles which are important for your exam point of view, which I am doing here. Other than that, whatever is there left in the current affairs, you can cover it from the Drishti IAS current affair magazine. Okay, with that I can assure you that your current affairs portion would be completely prepared. Okay, so now, as I told you, this is just the analysis of the news, or let's say whatever new happening has happened from yesterday to today in the newspaper. We will talking about that. The static part or the background of that you have to cover from the current affairs magazines. Okay, so now let's come back to the discussion. Hold on. Okay, so India-Russia signs a pact for future units of Kudankulam plant. Okay, we will see this where this plant, what are the specifics of this plant. Okay, other than that, here we are talking about that whatever things which has been talked between Mr. Jaishankar and the Deputy PM of Russia. Okay, so there are very few things they have talked about. We will discuss that. First is area of progress and area of exploration of the opportunities. Okay, so here they have discussed that they have discussed bilateral economic cooperation. Okay, the significant progress in the trade, finances, civil nuclear section, civil aviation sector, connectivity, energy, all these fronts are covered in their bilateral talks. okay, wherein there is a development or there is area of opportunity available, okay, and they are exploring new opportunities discussed, making our cooperation more balanced and sustainable in different dimensions, okay. So what they are trying to do here is that they are trying to explore more options, okay, diversify their cooperation and make it more sustainable, okay. So that is the general idea. And then program of cooperation in the Russian Far East, okay. So Far East area of Russia, which has been in news recently because that area is unexplored, there is a low population density, connectivity is even lesser. So considering that, now India is trying to make a presence in the Arctic region, so this particular area becomes important. So India is trying to, what India is trying to do is that trying to make some kind of connectivity to that particular area, and Russia is working on that as well. So we are collaborating on that, okay. So that is program of cooperation in the Russian Far East, okay. So now your job is to go and check what is the Russian Far East, which part, basically this Siberian part and the eastern part of that, okay, that would be Russia's Far East, okay. So now we have this particular, you can say, project of connecting that Far East from our Chennai through sea route, okay. So that is one thing you can remember, okay. Expectations of early meetings between EAEU, India FTA. So basically this is Eurasia Economic Union. So India is also planning a free trade agreement with this particular forum or organization, okay. So we are expecting that there will be some kind of in-personal talks or negotiation in early January, I guess. So they have mentioned the timeline that from January they might start this, okay. So this particular free trade agreement would also be important for us, okay, since now we are directly trying to connect with the Far East. So there can be a chance that with that connectivity, this free trade agreement will benefit India's manufacturing sector as well as the export of India's, okay. Now joint plans to organize connectivity events across land and maritime corridor. Okay, so this we have discussed that India is planning to connect with Russia through land as well as the when we are talking about through sea, okay. Now agreements and negotiation on the details of the India Eurasian Economic Zone Free Trade Agreement, okay, we have talked about that. And then addressing payment issues. So recently this payment issues has been in news because of the sanctions which has been put by USA on Russia after that Ukraine war, or you can say annexation of Crimea. There were small sanctions and then they have actually enhanced after the that Ukraine war which has started, or attack by Russia on Ukraine in the February 2022. Okay, after that there are US sanctions on Russia, because of which payment in US dollar has become difficult, or the channels or the banking system through which these payments were made has been difficult. So even in that regard, when we are talking about payment has been made by India to Russia in rupees as well, our own currency, okay, but now they are actually exploring more options as well, okay. Recently, yesterday I have talked to you about the first country having an agreement with India to pay in Indian rupee currency when we are talking about the oil trade, that is UAE. Yesterday we have discussed that article. So now these are the things which has been discussed in this particular visit, and you can say here they have also signed a pact between these two countries, that is the future power generation unit of Kudankulam nuclear power plant. And this visit was said as comprehensive and productive by our Minister of External Affairs, that is S. Jaishankar. He has said that this visit was comprehensive as well as productive. Okay, so here we can discuss that what is Kudankulam nuclear power plant, related to which we have signed a deal with Russia. So this power plant was is located in Tamil Nadu. Okay, and it was actually started with the assistance of Russia, and construction started in March 2002. Okay, right now when we are talking about this unit, the first unit has been in operationalized since 2016, and it is operating at the capacity of 1000 megawatts. Okay, so now there are other units as well. Okay, so we are having a pact on that other units or the future units which has to be operationalized. Okay, we are expected to run this particular power plant at full capacity by 2027. Okay, these are the statements has been made by Russia. Here you can say Kudankulam nuclear power plant is being built in Tamil Nadu with the technical assistance of Russia. The construction has begun in 2002, and since February 2016 the first power unit of the Kudankulam NPP has been steadily operationalized. Okay, at the hold on. at the capacity of 1000 megawatts, and it is expected to start at the full operation by 2027 according to Russian state media. Okay, so this is about Kudankulam. Here you can see the location of Kudankulam here somewhere, that is in Tamil Nadu. Other than that, we are having some operational nuclear power plants in India. These are Narora, it is in UP, and then there is one in Rajasthan. Then Kakrapar, this is in Gujarat, and we have Tarapur, this is in Maharashtra. We have Kaiga generating station, it is in Karnataka. Then we have Madras Atomic Power Station, that is in Tamil Nadu. So this you can remember, okay, one or two names for your exam point of view. Now, third article was the role of IMD is going to be more critical, says Rijizu. So basically, IMD has established on 15th of January 1875. So it will be celebrating its 150th anniversary. Okay. So in that regard, now IMD has launched a new logo. They have gone for a competition wherein various entries were there, and they have selected one logo out of that. Okay, that logo has been launched by Union Minister Kiren Rijiju, and he has said that the role of IMD will be quite crucial in the years to come. Okay, so let's say in the Indian Meteorological Department, IMD on Tuesday got a new logo ahead of its commencement of 150th years of providing weather and climate services to the country. Okay, it is third time since the inception that they are getting this new logo. Okay, so earlier they have changed it twice, now this is the third time they are changing it. From mere recording temperature and air pressure to being one of the well equipped meteorological center functioning in South Asia, best known for the monsoon prediction and the cyclone tracking and warning. So this is the role which is being played by IMD. So you must have heard about this cyclone on the Odisha coast, sometimes cyclone on the Arabian Sea coast. Most of the time we have this early warning systems in place. Earlier there was a time when we could not predict a cyclone, and there was a loss of life and property. But now we are equipped with such technology, and the role which has been played by the IMD, we have enhanced version of early warning system in place, because of which we can predict cyclones, monsoon, and we can predict the trajectory of the cyclones, the time it will take to come to the coast, all these things which are quite helpful in preventing the loss of life and property, because we can arrange the relocation. Okay, so that role has been played by IMD. Earlier when we had started this particular organization, only thing they had done was the recording of temperature and pressure, and now we are doing best in that particular area when we are talking about South Asian region. Okay, so we are well equipped meteorological center functioning in South Asia, and not only for India, even for the neighboring states also we are doing it. Okay, IMD's role is going to be more critical in the days to come because of the issues regarding the climate change and the weather pattern. So because of the climate change, we know that there are these extreme events which are happening very frequently. Okay, so the role of you can say this particular organization become important in predicting all those extreme weather events. Okay, other than that, in the climate studies, India will take a lead role in the climate studies, that has been said by the Union Minister. IMD share transboundary weather updates. Okay, as I told you, not only for India, for other states as well we are doing it. In IMD shares transboundary weather update, forecasts, cyclone warnings, alongside the offering training to the meteorological personnel of the number of South Asian countries. Okay, so that signifies the importance of this particular organization. Why we have taken this article? Because sometimes UPSC can directly ask you a question related to the efforts which has been done by the government, or let's say they can ask about the climate change. But if you mention such organization, okay, even one paragraph or 2 lines about this organization or the role of this organization, which will give you some extra marks. So that is why we have taken that this particular thing, IMD share transboundary weather updates, forecast, cyclone warning, etc. This particular paragraph would be important if you are writing it. Okay. So what IMD does is it issues daily and periodic weather forecast and the climate predictions. Okay, it also provides for tailor-made weather products required for the agriculture, power, tourism, ports, health, and several other sectors. Okay, so what are the sectors which are dependent on the weather, or you can say the climate conditions. Okay, let's say that tourism is one wherein we decide that should we go there on the basis of the climate or the, you can say, weather pattern of that particular area. So in that regard, other than agriculture is mostly dependent on the monsoon, and this particular organization play an immense role in the agriculture and the prediction of the monsoon. Okay, so that is why this role of this organization is quite important. Okay, regarding the logo, this is the new logo which has been generated. Okay, Bharat Mausam Vibhag. Okay, and Adityat Jayate Vrishti. Okay, so this is the line which has been used in the logo of this particular organization, that is IMD. Okay, now moving further. In the world affairs, we have, as I talk you, that there is this issue going on in the Israel. Now Israel is moving towards the central Gaza as well. Okay, earlier they started with the North Gaza, and then they went to the other areas of Gaza Strip, and now they are doing this strikes at the central Gaza area as well. Okay, and they have issued an advisory or the order for the resident to evacuate from that particular area. Okay, so now we are kind of concerned about it, and UN has made some kind of statement. UN Human Rights Office has said that we are gravely concerned about the situation, and because of that Israel has said that in response to its criticism from UN, Israel said it would no longer be granting automatic visas to the person from the UN. Okay, the UN they won't be giving automatic visa to UN employees. Okay, so that is one thing. And Israel faces a multi-arena war from 7 different fronts. Okay, since, as I told you, that these Houthi rebels, Iran, etc., all these countries are saying that they are against Israel in that. Okay, so now Israel is facing a multi-arena war from the 7 different fronts. Okay, that is, one is Gaza, this area Gaza. Second is from the West Bank. This is your West Bank. Third is Lebanon and Syria. Here this is Lebanon, this is Syria, because Golan Heights, that area which has been acquired by Israel, it is belonging to Syria, which has been captured in the 1967 war, I guess. Okay, so Syria, and then Iran and Yemen. Yemen and Iran. So here you can say this role of Houthi rebels, you can say in Yemen's Houthis are doing some kind of activity on the Red Sea, and then Iran has taken stand with the Hamas as well. Okay, so now Israel is facing a war from 7 fronts. Okay, so here this is the map of Israel. Again, here you can see this area of Gaza Strip has settlements of Palestinians. Okay, along with the area of this West Bank area. Okay, in this particular area also there are some patches where Israeli population is there. Okay, other than that, this area Golan Heights has been with Israel. It belongs to Syria, and that has been taken by Israel in 1967 war, and they never returned it. Then we are talking about this Sinai Peninsula over here. In the 1967 war, they have occupied Sinai Peninsula from the Egypt as well. But then in 1973, they have given it back to Egypt because of some kind of agreement. Okay. So this is about the geography, and other than that there is Jordan, Egypt, all these things, all these countries are making boundary with Israel. Okay. So we have said that these areas whichever are present in the vicinity of Israel are having effect on Israel's issue in Gaza Strip, and they are saying that they are facing multifaceted war with all these things or these countries. Okay. An Israeli strike on the Monday hit a neighborhood of the Syrian capital Damascus, killing General Syed Razi Mossavi, an advisor of the Iranian Parliamentary Revolutionary Guard. So basically this is a personal military personnel in Iran, okay, at a higher rank, and because of this strike, one strike which has been done by Israel on this Syrian land, okay, this person was assassinated. So that is why they are saying, the Syria is saying that they will take some kind of action regarding that. So this is about this particular article, and these are the area which are important for you. Here you can say when we are talking about Yemen, it is somewhere here in the Red Sea, in the south of Saudi Arabia, and then Iran. They do not share direct border with Israel as a matter of fact, but they are still part of this particular war because Houthi rebels from Yemen and Iran is also taking interest in this particular area. Okay, so this is the area of Israel. Okay, we have discussed that. Now US strike in Iraq after its soldier injured in an attack. So there is a base, that is Erbil base in Iraq, which is of USA. Okay, a US base in Iraq's Erbil that houses US forces came under attack from a drone earlier on Monday. Okay, so some Iran allied militants are there. They have tried to attack on this particular area using a drone, and now US is striking back in the Iraq. So that is not the point. Point here is that these are two bases, Al Asad Air Base and Erbil Air Base. Okay, these are the air bases of USA in this particular area of Iraq. Okay, so you can remember that because they might ask you that. Even I remember that in one exam they have all asked about Al Asad. So this Erbil also becomes important. Okay, now Russian warship in Crimea struck by Ukraine missiles. So that is just one development in this Russia-Ukraine issue. You can, if you want, you can give it a read. 2014 becomes important because in 2014 they have annexed Crimea, and in 2022 February they have attacked on the Ukraine. Okay, so these two timelines you can remember. Now let's see the other part. So in today's newspaper there were some 30 pages, okay, out of which 5 pages were dedicated to Uttarakhand. Okay, state of hope, that is Uttarakhand. Okay, so there are certain articles which has been covered in that which won't be important for you, but there are certain information which you can extract from such articles. Okay, you don't have to dwell deep into all these things, but you know some headings can be important. So here you can see that Koteshwar Dam hydraulic head. Okay, so this dam is on Bhagirathi river. Since it is in newspaper and this is important for them, so you can remember that. Okay, there are tendency of asking which dam is on which river. They can give you a match the column kind of thing. So this becomes important. Koteshwar Dam. Okay, so it is a gravity dam in on the Bhagirathi river in Tehri district of Uttarakhand. Okay, other than that there is this Pancheshwar High Dam. Okay, so this Pancheshwar High Dam is a bi-national dam, you can say, because you know it has you can say it is utilized by Nepal as well. Okay, so it is bi-national hydroelectric power project on the Mahakali river. Okay, so this it is on the Mahakali river. You must have heard about this Kali river issue and the issue of this Lipu Lake and Limpiadhura, etc. So these are some territories which has been contested between India and Nepal. Okay, after the shift of this Kali river's course. Okay, these territories belongs to India, but after the shift of this particular river, Nepal is claiming that. So that thing you can remember, that is Limpiadhura, Lipu Lake, etc. Okay, so this Pancheshwar High Dam. Okay, it is on the Mahakali river and it is a bi-national dam between India and Nepal. Other than that, there is this Tehri Dam. Tehri Dam is the tallest in India, and when we are talking about the world, it is the 12th tallest dam in the world. Okay, it is on the Bhagirathi river as well. Okay, so this sorry. So you can remember these 3-4 pointers from this. Other than that, there was one article related to the new age travel. Okay, so most of the states are now going for promotion of the tourism, or you can say tourism, eco-tourism, spiritual tourism. Okay, there are some 15 circuits we are talking about. So even Uttarakhand also, they are trying to make some kind of temple circuits. Okay, this is per se, they might not ask direct question on this, but the thing is, in your answers you can write all these things, that if you are trying to enhance the tourism, there are few ways that temple circuits, spiritual tourism. Other than that, you can go for the so adventure tourism, eco tourism, all these are the type of tourism which can be promoted. Okay, and when we are talking about Uttarakhand, the Char Dham Yatra, or the circuit which has been trying to connect these Char Dhams would be important for you. So that is why I have taken that, how to extract information from such articles which you don't have to go into details of it. Okay, if you are reading it, well and good. If you have less time, you can just extract important information from these particular things. With time you will get that. Okay, so now moving further with the question which is to be attempted by you and answer in the comment box. Which of the following countries does not share a boundary with Israel, Lebanon, Jordan, Iraq and Iran? Okay, so you have to choose the correct answer and you can place it in the comment box. So for your mains, discuss the archaeological significance of Mehrauli in India's historical as well as contemporary context. So as I told you that we have discussed various articles from Mehrauli. Okay, we have taken various sculpture or archaeological monuments from Mehrauli. So Mehrauli has some kind of significance when we are talking about the archaeological history or archaeological importance. Okay, so that is why I have taken this question. Discuss the archaeological significance of Mehrauli. Here you have to see that why Mehrauli become important. Okay, most earlier you know that most of the like pillars etc which has been placed in Mehrauli were taken from other places like Topra, or let's say there is this the Delhi Shivalik Abhilekh. All these things are bring by a few you know rulers from different places. That Asokan pillars of Topra has been you know moved here by Firoz Shah Tughlaq, okay, in the Firoz Shah Kotla. So these areas like Firoz Shah Kotla, Mehrauli, these becomes important for you. So here you can say what is the importance of Delhi when we are talking about the historical context, why these things are placed in this particular area, because the rule or the center of the rule was here. Okay, so that is one thing. So historically you can take example of 3-4 you know archaeological sites and you can mention that. And when we are talking about the contemporary context, you must have seen that most of these you know archaeological sites has been abandoned earlier, but now they are being revived by the government. So that is the contemporary context. If you have remember the you know that Hijra ka Khanka, or we have taken these few pillars from the you know south of Greater Kailash. All those areas has been revived by the government, so that you can remember over here. Okay, you can mention all these things over here. That can be a 10 marker. So prepare for it. Okay. So with that, I'll wrap up the session. I'll see you in the next episode. Till then, have a good day. Thank you.